Welcome back to the Coaching in Early Intervention Training and Mentorship Program, Frequently Asked Questions podcast series. I'm Scott Tomczyk. I'm a professor at the University of Louisville and support the CEI-TMP. Today, we'll answer a couple of questions related to the variability in program completion and/or video rubric scoring. There are differences in timing of program completion and scores on videos for providers. So it has been questioned if it could be related to the coach a provider has been assigned to. I really see these areas, these topics, program completion and scoring, as separate topics. So I'll spend some time addressing them individually. Program completion is there's variability for a number of reasons. It's typically driven by provider needs, their level of engagement, and base knowledge of coaching relative to the CEI-TMP schedule. We give all at kickoff what we call a quick view. So it's a general guide that's shared with all that provides them with an overview of activities. There's a much more specific syllabus for the CEI-TMP, but this quick view that you see here is really a general schedule, week by week activities by phase, and what those activities are that the provider will need to accomplish. You'll see those in red. Those are actual activities that we as coaching team members engage with providers. So those are the activities when I talk about timing or flexibility I'm referring to. We do offer flexibility for all. We recognize we're working with families and infants and toddlers, and so sometimes schedules change. And so we may have to have individual provider meetings instead of a group meeting. There may be early or late video submissions. We have flexible deadlines to recognize life events and illness, or a family member needs some support. And so we recognize all of those factors to provide that flexibility, promote success among all. We've started to track since cohort 8 this flexibility. And since cohort 8 to present, we've had 149 providers, and 87 of those, or 58%, have had flexibility or an individualized joint plan. 24 of these 87 were individualized joint plans. And so there was an independent approach to supporting their program completion. We also have found that providers with higher knowledge and demonstration of coaching when they start the program or are more engaged in the program often ask to complete the program more quickly, because the standard pace I showed you on the quick view is just too slow for them, especially when they're teamed with a provider who may have less base knowledge or because of their circumstance need a slower pace. So we've had from one coach, again, same coach, a team of 3, 2 providers complete the program early, and another provider on their team have to spend some time repeating some activities and take a more individualized approach. So same coach, really provider driven, not coach driven. So I think like many things, the timing of program completion is like a bell-shaped curve. Most complete the program as expected, but we have completion in both directions, some slower and some faster. The coaches and national consultants who served as our mentors and collaborators are really engaged in a comprehensive training and mentoring process around caregiver coaching. Fundamental to that process was to define how we were going to measure this transformation in practice from a traditional child-focused approach to caregiver coaching, how we were going to measure the quality of coaching, and ultimately fidelity of coaching practices. Therefore, we embarked on this multi-step process to develop and field test and deploy a fidelity measure of coaching practices. So we as coaches coached and reflected on the elements of coaching. We compared our views to what the literature told us about coaching. What commonalities were there? We spent some time reflecting to develop our own content validity. Ultimately, we landed on 7 quality indicators that were necessary for providers to develop and demonstrate during early intervention sessions. 6 of these, so joint planning at the beginning, observation, action practice, reflection, feedback, and joint planning at the end, are pretty consistent with how most other states that are focused on coaching in early intervention measure their fidelity to coaching. We felt strongly that establishing a partnership with families built around a trusting relationship was vital. So we added this as a 7th quality indicator. We then developed descriptors for each of these indicators with ratings to reflect the level of performance. We did this along a 5-point Likert scale, really with a goal of sensitivity. We wanted to see change in quality over time, and we wanted providers to also be able to see that they were changing from a traditional approach to caregiver coaching. This is one aspect that also sets Kentucky apart. Most other states are really using is this joint planning, for example, present or not present? Or they may have an emerging category, so present, not present, emerging. We wanted to be sure that we were sensitive to change over time. And we've continued to refine these descriptors to ensure that we have reliability and consistency. So here you'll see the rubric. Our 7 coaching quality indicators are here. We measure those quality indicators around provider actions, what the provider is doing to engage with that family and child. And then we have our continuum of descriptors here along that 5-point Likert scale from not yet to mastery. We, like anyone listening today, feel really strongly that there must be consistency between the coaching team in measuring coaching fidelity. So we have spent a lot of time and effort focused on reliability. We have initially defined our agreement or reliability as 100% agreement on 4 of these 7 quality indicators, and we have to be within 1 rating on the other 3. We've also developed an internal Kentucky Coaching Adherence Rubric Master Coach Scoring Guide. In the scoring guide, it really objectifies that rubric scoring criteria. We identify and scale the key elements of each rating on the quality indicator to make it objective rather than it be a subjective rating. The scoring guide also supports mentorship phase group meetings. And here in mentorship phase is where there are group discussions that really dissect each coaching quality indicator. This Master Coach Scoring Guide also serves as a manual when we're onboarding a new coach to be sure that we're establishing their training and ultimately establishing reliability with the other coaches. We take 20% of all videos in each cohort phase. So across baseline, across that fidelity phase, across mentorship, 20% of all videos are randomly assigned to a coach, a second rater, who's blinded or unaware of initial scores, so that we can check our reliability, we can check our consistency. And in the reliability literature and the research literature, any agreement above 0.75 is considered acceptable or good inter-rater reliability. Good inter-rater reliability is from like 0.75 to 0.9, and excellent inter-rater reliability is above 0.9. If we look at our performance, we have over 190 reliability checks. So if you do the math, we've scored close to 1,000 videos at this point. We have 0.96 agreement at the video level. So if we look at that total score, we reach reliability agreement on 4 of 7 and within 1 on the other 3, 96% of the time. So excellent reliability there. Intra-class correlation is a statistic that's used also to measure reliability. And if we look at the total score, again, our ICC is 0.97, excellent. And the individual coaching quality indicators range from 0.86 to 0.94. Despite having these great reliability metrics, we have also developed a standard operating procedure for ratings that are close to fidelity in any phase. So if a provider is close to reaching fidelity but doesn't do so at baseline or at fidelity phase or in maintenance, we assign a second rater to randomly score it just to be sure that the providers are given the benefit of the doubt. And if it reaches fidelity, they get the benefit of that score. So I hope this information provides some clarity to the questions around variability and program completion and video or rubric scoring. If you have any additional questions, as always, feel free to send those to coaches@louisville.edu. Take care and stay well.